From the streets of Cincinnati, welcome to the jungle! Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah, stripes, 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 orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who day? Time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati, jungle fitted. Who day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move crossing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock them, yeah we got them, yeah we fought them. Like that black and orange upon them, bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast and know them. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move on? All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the AFC North champions, soon to be home of the Super Bowl champions. Mark my words, it's going to happen before I die. At least I think so. Anyway, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,498 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Now, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you'd like to support what I'm doing or make sure your comment gets read, please give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. So if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on Twitter and you have yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go to YouTube channel Sports Strawberry Ice, hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Kind of like last night where I was down at the stadium cheering on our boys as they came back home. It was live. I hope it was the connection was terrible at times, so I hope everybody got to see it. But I was on Instagram, I went on YouTube, I went on Twitter. I did not go on Facebook. I should have tried to do that, but I didn't. But as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. What's up to everybody in the chat crew? Crown, Charles in there, Hoss, Bengals, AFC North, love that name. Richard, who else we got in there? Rufflish, Terry, Chris is in there. I think I got everybody. But anyway, welcome to the show. This is Bengals group therapy, I'm calling it. Now, I know we lost. It sucks. It hurts. People ask me, how do you get through this? I'm like, well, it's the third time I've done it. So I don't say it gets easier. you just move on, and especially I have to bring this up. This picture kills me, especially when you were this close away from winning the whole damn thing. If our offensive line could have held up for 2 more seconds, Jamar Chase is wide open, and we either at least get a field goal and tie it up, or we get the touchdown. So, group therapy session. We're going to win this Super Bowl. I am going to place a $100 bet on this that we're winning it next year. I believe we're going to fix the offensive line. I believe we're going to get a corner. I believe we're so close. Now, news of the day. Joe Burrow got some good news today from Ian Rappaport. He's reporting that Joe Burrow has a sprained knee, and according to Ian Rappaport, he would just have to rehab it, and the sprain should not impact his offseason whatsoever. So everybody was freaking out about his knee, me included, he should be fine. And we got some good news. If you want to watch some other sports tonight, you got UC playing Memphis tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN+. Plus, now this is what happens when you have good coaches and a good team. You start losing your coaches. Bengals linebacker coach Al Golden is set to become Notre Dame's defensive coordinator. And also, the Bearcats are spending some money. They have signed Luke Fickell to a $5 million contract extension running through 2028. He is about to start his 6th season. 6 at the University of Cincinnati. I never thought we'd actually have a coach staying for that long, but we do. So I'm happy about that. So like I said, this is Bengals group therapy. I'm going to try to give you guys some hope of what we are about to enter. And I think we're about to enter, or actually not enter. We are in the golden era of this Bengals franchise. Now, I got to bring on my boy Josh. Now, I know he's a little younger than me, and this is the first time he's ever experienced, 1, a great season like this, 2, a loss like this. So, like I said, I'm old. I've done it. It sucks. Let's get to Josh. What up, Josh?
Jeff, as I sit back and ponder what was a fun, great, remarkable day on Sunday, and just thinking back to what it eventually disappointed into. And thinking back, am I more emotionally upset that the season is over or that we lost the Super Bowl? And I'm going back and forth, and I think while that this Super Bowl game was incredibly disappointing, there were many opportunities for the Bengals to win the game. I don't think you can point to just one single aspect of it. And I think all of the major things happened for the Bengals, and instead they didn't take care of the small things. But that being said, I don't think it's as upsetting that this season's over, because this is one of the greatest football seasons that I have seen in terms of University of Cincinnati and our beloved Cincinnati Bengals, and especially the Bengals, best Bengals team I've ever seen. And the future is just so bright, and that optimism needs to just continue on into the offseason. While this game was so disappointing, we do have a young core, and it seems like this fan base is back and ready to buy back in next year. So it seems like a lot are following that trend. So it is great to see. But a long answer to your question of what's up.
No, I'll take that. But yeah, I mean,
nothing much.
The game, there was lots of opportunities for the Bengals to have won this. Now, if you would have told me that we would have won the turnover battle, we would have only allowed the Rams to score 1 touchdown in the second half, and we were winning at the beginning of the second half, and you told me we would have lost, I would have said you're crazy. But when you have 5 consecutive offensive possessions and you do nothing with it, and this is after the T. Higgins touchdown, this is after they intercepted the ball for a second time against Matthew Stafford, and they didn't convert it. That's the problem. Now, I know everybody's upset about the referee call, which I am. The call on Logan Wilson was absolutely horrible. It's terrible, and I can't stand it that they didn't call any flags the whole time until the last minute of the game. That drives me nuts. But that is not the sole reason we lost the game.
No.
We lost. You cannot. You have to score. And the thing is, I'm getting tired of this narrative. Oh, the Rams did this. The Rams did that. The Rams scored one freaking touchdown in the second half. That's it. And that was the first touchdown that the Bengals defense gave up in the second half in the entire playoff. And I wish the national media, which I know they're not going to, but I wish the national media would talk about that a little more. Give the Bengals defense a little more credit. They're giving the Rams all this credit, which, hey, they sacked Joe Burrow 7 times, and they deserve it. But the Bengals defense held their own.
Oh, yeah, no. When you look at the reasons of why the Bengals may have lost this game, you definitely don't immediately look to the defensive side of the ball. You could look to Eli Apple because that's the most popular thing right now.
Right.
But let's be honest, Eli Apple is who Eli Apple is. Did we not think that he would, if he got singled up one-on-one with Cooper Kupp, that he was going to get absolutely mossed? Yeah, that's who he is. That's a problem on our defense for the scheme to be one-on-one with Eli Apple and Cooper Kupp. That should never happen, especially when there's a minute 26 left and they're down on the goal line. That should never happen. So it's not even really Eli Apple's fault. That's Lou's fault.
Yeah, that is my one issue with the coaching. I don't know, and I think Lou.
That was your one issue. That was your one issue. Oh,
my one big one. I mean, the biggest one. Yeah. I mean, the other than that, the defense played really well. I mean, in that last drive, why did they not double team Cooper Kupp? I mean, they kept going to, and they were doing that the whole game. OBJ wasn't in there. Why? And nothing.
Why was Eli Apple? Why was Eli? Cheeto could have been on him.
But even if Cheeto was on him, you still should have. Even if Cheeto was on him, they still should have double teamed him. I don't care who it is. You still should have double teamed him. Right. That's the thing. Let's get this super chat here from Rowdy Everlap, and I appreciate it. He said the Bengals have $60 million in cap space, but we have to address the O-line, replacing Eli Apple, but most importantly, finding ways to keep Higgins, Chase, and Burrow together long term. Yes, and I agree with all of that, and I think.
That's not going to happen this offseason. I mean, some of it will happen, but not all of it.
They don't have to worry about Burrow, Chase, and Higgins.
Right, that's the big contract.
They have to. That's future stuff. They have this year. They need to fix the offensive line. They got to at least sign 2 offensive linemen, and either get another one in the draft, and get a cornerback in the draft. And I think there's a good shot that might be able to get Kobe Bryant in the second round.
Kobe Bryant would be awesome. I mean, obviously, I want to keep any sort of Cincinnati kid within Cincinnati. Now, I do agree that with our first round pick in the draft, if we have addressed what we should have done in free agency, which is be aggressive on the offensive line and possibly a tight end, because again, like I love CJ Uzomah. Drew Sample should not be a number 2 tight end in this type of offense. If we keep planning to play Drew Sample the way that he is, which is basically like still going and receiving passes, we got to get somebody else in there that can actually be a red zone threat. Because what have we struggled with all season, and it still came back to bite us in the ass, is a red zone offense. I've been preaching how bad we are at red zone offense. Get another tight end. But that being said, we do need to go. I believe we need to go center guard, free agent.
Well, I would think, the thing is, they need to go
center tackle. I'm sorry.
Center tackle. Well, they need to get a guard too. There's a lot of guard. Anyway, if you can get 3 of them, great. I don't know if if they're going to spend the money to get all 3 of them. I mean, Trey, I would prefer to get a guard and a tackle. Those are the 2 positions for me. Yes, Trey Hopkins. If we could get a center, yes, but I don't see the Bengals getting 3. Maybe if the kid from Iowa happens to drop to us, that could be our future center, but it's not something you want to bank on. And the thing that I was talking to Orange Arrow earlier today, and he had a good point. You don't want to just single in on one guy. And then if that guy's not there, then you end up drafting Billy Price. So that's why I really want them before the draft. You go out and you get yourself a tackle, a left tackle, right tackle. I don't care. If you get a left tackle, then move Jonah Williams to right tackle and get a guard. And I want to re-sign Quentin Spain too. I think, yes, I know he got beat on the last one, but I still think he's a very usable guard. You can't replace everybody. I mean, they can't. No. So I think Jonah Williams is good. I think Spain is good. Trey Hopkins is okay. But the 2 glaring parts of our offensive line is that right guard and that right tackle. You got to address those 2, and we have got to address cornerback.
Yeah, our right side of the line is definitely where we're struggling at. I would also like to see us make a jump for Ryan Jensen, the center from Tampa Bay. Had a great season this year, and I think honestly, again, we kind of talked about it. We both like Trey Hopkins, we do. However, he's just not where
Not a thought.
How are you feeling? I mean, how
So
are
I
you?
just thought so. As you're talking about, if we get that center you're talking about,
Yeah. Are you
who'd
going
you
to
say it
answer the
was?
comment? Are you going to answer the comment?
What's one?
The
How am I
one you just
feeling?
pulled up. He said, "How are you doing?"
Oh,
Are you
I'm
going to
good.
answer that?
I'm doing fine.
I thought that's why you interrupted me.
No, when you talked, you brought up a good point. If we get a
I did
center,
bring up a good point because I'm
if we
smart.
if let's not go that far. If you get a center, then there's possibly you can kick Trey Hopkins back to guard where he originally was. That could be a possibility too. So
But Jeff, if you do that, then you got to make it. You got to make a choice on quitting Spain. Then, if you'd rather have Q at the right guard, or would you rather kick Trey Hopkins out there and
you
not
kick,
resign?
you kick Hopkins to well, Q is left guard. Q's left guard. You keep him there, and you kick Hopkins,
Okay, all right.
right
Yeah,
guard.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're
So
right. You're right.
yeah. So that's where I'm at with that. So they have options, and I'm like I said, I'm not against Trey Hopkins. I think he's a feasible center, and everybody has to remember he's coming back from a torn ACL. He fought this all year, so that's another thing where I'm like, he's going to be fully healthy next year. So I think that's a feasible option either at center or
Yeah.
guard.
And also I still think we should give Jackson Carman another year. I am a fan of Jackson Carman. I do want him to work out. I want him to give him another year of, you know, being a fringe 1 to 2 and be in the rotation, and eventually work for him being in the starting rotation, because I think we can continually get him underneath, his value. And I do think he does have potential in the NFL. I've seen him
Yeah.
play well during
Mhm.
the season. He just needs to keep shaping it up. And then obviously he is coming off an injury after this last offseason. But anyway,
Yeah, no, I'm with
you
you.
be you.
I'm not. I haven't given up on Jackson Carman either. But
No,
I am not willing to go. Okay, he's our starting right guard next year. I want to,
no,
like
he
you just said,
can't.
I want to keep him and
Yeah,
develop him. But
yeah.
I want a plug and play right guard, right tackle next year.
We
That's
do
what I
need
want.
we need we that's exactly what needs to happen. And
Mhm.
honestly, I'm not against. I keep hitting my laptop. I'm not against I'm not against what you said is getting the left tackle and kicking Jonah out to right. Jonah started down the stretch. I mean, down the stretch of the season, the offensive line play got worse, not including the AFC Championship game,
Well,
which
losing
they
Riley
played
Reef
well.
did not help.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be
No, I
honest.
know. No, right, right. Losing him did not help. However, you got to be able to still work around that. They've been without Riley Reef for, I mean, how many weeks now? They should have had it figured out by now.
Mhm.
Whether it's a free agent signing or just scheming around it, you should have had it figured out. The offensive line play got worse. So again, everything should be on the table. There should, especially when it comes to the offensive line.
Now I know a lot of people are interested that they want Gronkowski, and I'm not going to say no. I take it, but my gut feeling is Gronkowski's going to retire. That's just my own opinion that I think he's going to retire. And if the money's right, he might come play for the Bengals. I don't know, but I mean, you can't spend a ton of money on a tight end. We can get one, like you said, in the draft. I think so. I'm not a big. We have to go. I love CJ Uzomah. I'm fine with keeping him. I do agree. I think we need a better backup than Sample. But
Mhm.
if we get Gronk, that'd be awesome. But it also depends on the money. The more important thing is fix this offensive line and get a cornerback. That's the more important thing.
But one more thing about a Gronk coming back, I don't think it's going to be so much of the money situation. I think it's just going to be, does Gronk have enough gas in the tank, and does he want another ring that badly enough?
Right.
Because
And
I
I don't
think
think he does.
he's got enough money, he's got enough sponsorship deals. I'm sure USAA is
Yeah.
paying him plenty to
Right.
make those dumbass commercials. As much as he's just so stupid, it's so bad. I could Gronk spike, so I hope he stops that. But anyway, that being said, does he want it? Does he want to come back that much? And I think it's just up in the air now. Let's see. Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's
I
see.
mean, we're what 3 days from the season ending, so who knows?
I think the Bengals should make a push for him. I will
Oh
say
yeah, I'd
that.
call him. I'd call him.
I
to
still
see
think. Yep.
what
Get him
happens.
on
I'd
the
make a phone call.
Rolodex. Get him
Yeah,
down to Cincinnati. Get Joe Burrow to talk to him a little bit.
right. Take him down to the precinct, give him a steak. See what happens.
Yep. See
All right,
what Jeff Ruby's got to do. All right.
there you go. Rowdy, have your lap. Thanks for the $5 super chat. He says Hakeem Adeniji was atrocious in the playoffs. Not sure why we're so committed on playing him. Well, honestly, I think Jackson Carman's back flared up. I know actually I know it did because he had issues of that 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. And I don't they have said this, but Jax Carmen didn't get a single snap in the Super Bowl. So to me, that tells me his back was bothering him too bad where he couldn't go. Either he said he couldn't go or the trainer said he couldn't go.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. All of the offensive line was atrocious. They're just
Oh yeah.
without question. So I mean, he did play pretty bad. I mean, again, I still think they're trying to hold on to guys that are from the past 2 years of draft classes, and they want to stick with their young guys. And I am all for that. Like, let's develop them, and that's going to be our future. So let's see what we can do with them. And again, this year the choices weren't very good. The offensive line was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
Throughout
All
all the playoffs.
Tom Brooks here says we need a new center. As much as I like Hopkins as a person, he's overmatched and bull rushed and missed stunts. Now, one thing I want to talk about the last play. And one thing, and I'm not harping on Q. I love Q, but if you and I've rewatched this a couple times, and it's killed me to do it. But if you watch that play, he's got help. He got Hopkins on the inside. Q can't get beat left. You can't get beat left. He gets beat left, and Trey Hopkins slides. What it would be nice if Trey could have saw, that he's beat, and if he could have just got a chip block or something or anything on Darnold to give Joe another second. We could have had something there. That's the one thing, but it's like Q's like that's the one that drives me nuts about the last couple plays. The one thing Q couldn't do is get beat left. He got beat left. The one person we couldn't let beat us was Cooper Kupp. We let him beat us. Like, those are things you and me knew that couldn't happen to let us lose. They knew it could happen, and we'd lose, and they let it happen.
Again, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the reasons why this not disaster, I guess. And I've heard some people call it a choke job or a gag. It really wasn't. I mean, both teams were very good and very evenly matched. It was a one-score game the entire game, basically, except for when it was 13-3 to start the game. But anyway, I mean, one of them was the big one. Obviously, was offensive line, and then let's go to the specific plays that you were talking about. Is letting Cooper Kupp and letting Aaron Donald kill us, and then especially on the last play.
Yeah,
I mean, you look through that sequence though. When LA scored with 1:28, and we had 2 timeouts left, you're thinking in the back of your head, they left too much time. Like, we're gonna get into field goal range at the least.
I thought so. Yeah.
And then after the first play where Jamar Chase gets a 20-yard reception, I'm like, all right, we're already at midfield. Here we go. Why on God's green earth? I've said, I feel like I've been the only one saying this. Do we keep running the ball with Samaje Perine on third down? Second down, or third down.
I have I agree with you. I've had
most crucial part of the game.
I think you should put Mixon in there. But if you look at that, why wasn't that replayed? I mean, Samaje, he was that close to get a first down.
No, he wasn't.
Why? Dude, go watch it again. He was that close to get a first. It was at least worth getting a replay. It's the Super Bowl. You should get it right. I mean, they were flag happy with the rain, against us down there. Why couldn't they replay in the last 2 minutes? Just check it.
I think the most egregious call, and I'm going to throw this on the Bengals coaching staff for not catching this, is the first Jamar Chase catch when he caught it at like the 10, fell down, not even close to touch, and then got tackled at the 3.
Right.
And they spot the ball at the 11, and nobody saw that. That is on the Bengals coaching staff, and it'd be for not buzzing that down there that you need to challenge this play. That was a huge part in the game, and we only ended up with a field goal. Now, we might already still only end up with a field goal, but that was a massive part in the game.
It's worth challenging.
That's 7 more yards.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? How does that not get challenged?
Yeah, it's worth challenging.
It's the small stuff. Sure. It's the small stuff that get. We talked about it. What's got to happen for the Bengals to win? They got to win the turnover battle. They did that. Matthew Stafford's got to make mistakes. He did.
Threw 2 of them. Yep.
He threw 2 of them and did not have a good game. And
no,
one of their wide receivers, one of their best weapons, OBJ, tears his ACL.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But we did not take care of the small things. Did not take care of them.
It's that. I keep going back to this. You can't you can't have the 5 possessions in a row and punt every single time. You can't. That's to me. That's what it comes down to.
That's
Josh.
probably the biggest one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can nitpick all this other stuff. We should have done this. You got to score.
You got
to score.
Not even score. You got to move the ball. You have 2
Yeah.
3 and outs, and then 1 5-yard,
Right.
5-yard.
Yeah, it's just and to
drive,
me
or 5-play drive.
I
keep kidding me.
I hate keep harping on this, but if we had an offensive line, it and people ask me this, all season on the show. When is the offense going to click? Well, the offensive click when that offensive line was playing at its best. That's when our offense was clicking. If you look back at the 5-game stretch, where we won all those, 4 out of the last or 3 out of the last 4, whatever it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. Our offensive line was playing really well.
But
that's what happens.
But Jeff, here's the problem with that is that you know that you have this really bad offensive line. You know this. You've gotten to the Super Bowl game planning around this offensive line. You score one of those 5 possessions. We're more than likely hoisting the Lombardi Trophy right now. That was it. For as bad as the Rams offense was playing, that was where we could have absolutely won the game. And I don't want to go against the offensive line as much because look, they played terrible. I know that they did.
It comes down to talent.
But they should have been able to scheme around it. They ran one freaking screen the entire drive.
I'll give you that with screen.
They ran one screen the entire game. They did that. Joe Mixon again, he wasn't getting touches again, and it's just punt, stall. What about a Jamar? How much room were they giving T. Higgins and Jamar Chase right off the line? They gave him like 10 yards of cushion.
Right.
Every play. How do you not exploit that? With the quick passes or a quick game or a bubble screen or a wide receiver screen or get the ball in your playmaker's hands.
Yeah, I do agree with you with the screens. That was one thing that they did a lot in the Kansas City game, and it really worked out well for them. But I don't know why they didn't. I mean, I've been asked that a couple times today. I said I don't know. That's a good question.
Right.
I'll try to get to Crypt Keeper's comment. Where'd it go? Here it is. I'm gonna put this back up here. He said the worst thing about the Super Bowl loss is to let everybody off the hook, the media, Carson Palmer, and so on. I don't completely agree with that. I mean, that's where yes, they're not going to give us credit, but if you can argue it. I mean, it's an easy argument. They scored 1 touchdown in the second half. That's the first touchdown the defense gave up the whole in the second half, the whole playoffs. We did everything that we needed to do to win the game. So we didn't. I hate to say let them off the hook. They're not giving us credit, but I think eventually they're going to after we get past all the love for the LA Rams and love for Matthew Stafford, which everybody's acting like he had this great game. He did not have a great game.
He did not.
I don't care what anybody says. Matthew Stafford, yes, he made the play at the end, but he did not have a great game.
Some good plays.
Yeah, some good plays, but nothing where like, oh my goodness, he's a Hall of Famer now. Like, get out of here with that crap. I mean, he did not. The only reason he made plays is because he had Cooper Kupp. I'll tell you that, and we couldn't get any pressure on the second half. That's another issue we did have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, but by the way, on the Matthew Stafford, I feel like he is honestly a less talented Joe Flacco. That's exactly where I would put him. Less talented Joe Flacco, about the same resume, kind of same old everything. And then, except for Joe Flacco's had more postseason success overall, but in regular season success. But anyway, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't. I don't. If he is, Matt, I agree. I saw this on Twitter. I agree with this. If Matt Stafford is, then Matt Ryan is.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. And neither one of them are first ballot. I don't care what anybody says.
No, absolutely not.
All right, Mac here says, I don't feel like Zach called the last drive like his life depended on it.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I mean there were some things there, and like I said, I'll go back to.
Lost you here, Jeff.
He comes back, and the second one, I think it was the second play or third play. It was a go ball, and Joe just chucked it into the stands because I guess he couldn't get it to him, and then. I can't look, I hate being the Monday morning quarterback because everybody can say, well, they should have done this. They should have done that. Well, of course you're going to say that because it didn't freaking work, you know? So everybody can say, well, why'd they run it? Why'd they do this? If it worked, everybody's like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. So I'm not always big on second guessing the guy because if it worked, then everybody'd be fine with it. But when you have Joe Mixon and he's your number one running back and Super Bowl's on the line, he's got to be in there, in my opinion. He's got to be in there. That's the one thing. And Samar J, God love him. He's a good running back, but he's not Joe Mixon. And Mixon was running. I mean, they were running on him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and here's the thing on top of that. Look, if Mixon only had like 25 yards and nothing was happening in the run game, then maybe I could see switching it up. But already had 72 yards. The cutbacks were there all day
Yes.
long.
Mhm.
And the Bengals refused to exploit that, and especially on the final drives of the game, and especially on the final drive of the game. How do you not have that happen? And I hear a lot of, well, maybe, well, not a lot, but I'm hearing that maybe one of the thoughts behind it was that the formation didn't allow for it, or Samaje Perine was on the. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Screw the situation and screw the formation. Get it to Mixon and let your best player get you a yard,
Now, one thing
or
I'll say
throw a
about
short pass, or just get the ball into Chase's hands, into
Mhm.
Higgins' hands, into Mixon's hands. Let your best players win you the game.
The one thing I'll say about this is I know people have brought this up that, maybe Brian Callahan should call offensive plays, yada, yada, yada. Brian Callahan still has never called any. He's never done it. Zach Taylor's been doing it for 3 years. Yes, he could do better. He's gotten better. I think he will get better. Yes. And you look at it this way. Sean McVay even said that he got out coached in his first Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Yes, I think Taylor got out coached a little bit. I mean, I do. I mean, Sean McVay won. So he's still, Zach Taylor's still a young coach. They're still a young team. I think next time we go, they're going to learn from this. I just do. And I don't think the answer is to hurry up and take it away and give it to Brian Callahan because Brian Callahan has never called any plays. So to me, that's not an answer. Let me get the rowdy every laps here. Super chat. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Last postseason on a 2nd and 1 on the route for Chase, where he threw it away. There were no dump off designs to get a first down. Burrow had time. Did I read that right?
Yeah, he's saying that there was no safety valve on the go ball to
Thank you.
Chase on the
Okay.
2nd and 1.
Yes.
Listen, and here's the thing. I was fine with the 2nd and 1 deep shot. I was fine with that. But I understandably so what you're saying is that, if the deep shot's not there, we got to get it to a safety valve. But I think honestly, it was a one route. It's either Chase, it's either he beats him or he doesn't.
Right.
There was no other option. I understand maybe having that safety valve, but I think they were going for the kill shot, and I'm all fine with doing it there. But then on top of that, I mean, you could still do it again on 3rd and 1 because Chase was getting separation.
Right.
Like you could have hit him on a deep ball on the 3rd and 1, or here's a really fun idea: we give it to the back that we just signed for 4 years longer, a 4-year contract extension for a lot of our cap. Why don't we hand it to him? Why don't we just do that?
Or
Or
we make a play and keep Joe Burrow upright for 2 more seconds and we hit Chase. I'm like, this picture kills me. I'm like, look, he killed Jalen Ramsey again. He's wide open. This is it's just I don't know. There's so many ifs, ands, and buts, and blah blah blah. They could have done this, could have done that. They didn't. We lost. It sucks.
They didn't. And
But the thing is,
yeah.
I don't want this to be a downer here. Okay. We had a great season. We had the best season we've had since 1988, since I was 12. Josh wasn't even alive then.
Nope.
It is the greatest season that guy right there has ever seen in his life. So let's not forget what this team accomplished, what everybody said this team was going to do. Well, we're going to win 4 games. We're going to be last. We're going to be this. Look, I put out my postseason, my season predictions, or 2 early predictions for next year on,
Yeah.
for the opponents next year. I said, and this isn't official, I'm like, 11-5, or 11-5. We're going to win the AFC North and we're going to win the Super Bowl. And somebody, I don't even know who the hell it was, I don't even care, already said, you're not going to win that because the Browns are going to be back to 100%. The Steelers will be back to 100%, and so are the Ravens. Okay. Well, the Steelers are going to suck. The Ravens were at 100% when we kicked their ass in Denver. The Browns, yes, they beat us one game. Yes, or they beat us twice. But let's be honest, it's the Browns, it's the Clowns. We should have won at least one of them. I'm not scared of any of those guys, especially moving forward. So we need to be ecstatic, I think, about the future and what it holds. And I cannot wait till March 15th until free agency starts because I want to know what they're going to do. That's where my mindset is. Like, all right, we lost. It sucks. We lost. Move on. Let's fix this thing and let's go win this damn thing next year.
Oh, I'm calling. I'm calling, and maybe it's me being way too optimistic. I'm calling 13-4, 14-3. I think they go out. I think they sweep the division. I think they're to a point. They have that bad taste in their mouth. Most of these players are returning next year. They're going to just continue to add guys that have either been there before or have been desperate enough to do whatever they can to get there and be close. Um, I'm calling 13 wins. I don't think anybody in the AFC North can beat them, or at least really like compete in the division for them. I don't think so. I think Lamar Jackson, while as good as he is to the rest of the league, we've kind of talked about it. It almost seems like the AFC North has figured him out. He struggled against Pittsburgh, struggled against Cleveland, and has really struggled against us. We continue to do that. Steelers are a wreck. They got to figure out the quarterback position. I understand Mike Tomlin's a good coach, but
and their offensive line.
Yeah, and they get
They're worse than ours.
Terrible, awful, and they got a good defensive line. They got a good defense. They're not going to be able to compete with Cincinnati, and I think the Browns again. I mean, they got a lot that they're dealing with their quarterback position. They got a lot, that comes up in free agency. You have to question that locker room for OBJ to basically leave and then immediately go and get a Super Bowl. And there's been no locker room complaints. There's been nothing. That's got to be something said. So I think there's going to be a lot of pointing fingers next year for the Browns, and it looks like it's just going to fall back into the same rotation. Now you got a couple hard games. You got the Chiefs at home once again. It's where you got to establish your dominance in the AFC, not only the AFC North but the entire AFC. You got to go out there and go win those games. But anyway, I'm calling 13-4, 14-3. This is a team that's going to be deadly.
That's not my official.
Coming back for vengeance.
And we're coming back for vengeance. Now, this one, not to go back to. I said I wanted to get away from this, but Brady Everlap has a very good point. He said Tyler Boyd's drop. His first drop of the season. First drop of the damn season. Yeah, it killed us. That was the first down. So I do, yeah. And that's you just the Super Bowl is so hard to win. I don't care, but getting there is hard to win. It's hard to get there. Winning it is even harder. And it ain't gonna be easy for the Bengals to do it, but I believe they can. But the thing is, now all this talk that they had, well, they've never won a playoff game. Well, they've never won a road playoff game. Well, they've never been to the Super Bowl. It's all out the window. All these guys have been there, done that. That bodes well for us moving to the future.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, that was one of the biggest. It just God, that was a gut punch to the game. Is when Tyler Boyd drops that. I mean, drilled him right in the hands. He's got to catch that 10 yards. And I'm sure if you go and ask him, he'd switch it out with any other throw that he's had this entire year. I'm sorry, he'd switch it out and drop something else and catch that one. But
he just took his head off his.
That's football. That's football. That's what's going to happen. But every single mistake that is made is going to be magnified times 150,000. So I don't know.
Hunter here says Armstead's going to have a Jeff Ruby steak with his old teammates and Joe. Hey,
I'm not against that.
Nope,
I'm not against that at all.
I'm not against that at all. Dennis Perry, what do you got here? He says it's not a prediction; it's a spoiler. If the Cincinnati Bengals had a better offensive line, they would have won. But ignorance, the thing that
Arrogance.
Bengals fans, arrogance, whatever, Bengals fans. Often, so I can go against the Rams. Okay. Anyway, not really sure.
He's saying he's doubling down on basically what we're saying. It's just like, yep, we're gonna come back and we're going to be. And
Dennis
I
Dennis is also the one that messaged me on Facebook and told me I lied to him when I said the Bengals were going to win. I said, dude, it's an opinion. It's not a lie. I'm like, I didn't know. I was hoping they were going to win. I felt confident they were going to win.
I thought we were going to win. Sometimes that just doesn't happen.
It just doesn't happen. It's football, man.
It is
All
what
right,
it
Mac,
is.
it took us 31 years to finally win a playoff game. Then we didn't lose to the Super Bowl. That has potential to be great learning experience for young guys. Exactly. Sure. That's exactly my point, Mac, right there. That's that's what I'm saying. I mean, good.
Yo, yeah, I was just gonna say, you look at the returning talent and who's coming back. It's mostly the same core of a Super Bowl team, probably with many upgrades. So I mean, not many, but some upgrades around the team. So I mean, the sky's the limit. The thing that worries me the most is that you can still do that and upgrade and spend a lot of money, but there is a zero guarantee that you get back to the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
There's zero guarantee. You could, again, Tennessee did the same thing, thought they had everything in place, beating their first game. KC thinks they got everything figured out, runs into Cincinnati. Buffalo thinks they got everything figured out. Buffalo's been an all-in for 2 years. Their championship window is about to close. Yeah, it's about to close.
And that's one thing when people kept saying, "Oh, we got house money. We got house money." I'm like, no, I don't care about house money. I want to win now because just like you said, it's hard to get there.
It's hard
and look, back. I believe that we can. I believe that we are on the beginnings of a long playoff and Super Bowl run. If multiple Super Bowls, I really do believe that. But it ain't easy,
right? I think every team from now until probably 5, 6, 7 years from now has the potential to go to the Super Bowl. It's about can they string it together and make it happen. Which again, you can have phenomenal, incredible teams and probably better teams on the field than they are playing and still lose. So
exactly. Yeah. Rowdy Everlap, you kill me with the $5 super chats. Love it. It said
because I'm here, Jeff.
Oh, it's all you, Josh. And he said it's better to be 0-3 in a Super Bowl than to be the Cleveland Browns, who have never, ever been to one. And the funny thing is, Josh, I'm heading down to go greet the players back. And I got my Bengal flags on. And I'm wearing my Jack by Joey stuff. And there's this Amazon driver. I guess he had a Browns hat on. And I'm making this turn. And I'm turning onto it. And he had a light. And he just goes, I go, you didn't even make the playoffs. What are you pointing at your hat for? Like, get out of here. Oh, now he's got the hat on. I like it. I like it.
It's really, oh, God, I can't. There we go. I got to extend my headphones here. It's really, what's really funny, Jeff, is all those teams that maybe even didn't make the playoffs or lost in the playoffs, maybe 2 of them to the Cincinnati Bengals, started getting pretty freaking chirpy today. Started really feeling good. Started really feeling like, the Bengals got knocked down.
I had a Steelers fan
stuck on that Bengals. Hey, guess what, buddy? You got your ass handed to you by Cincinnati, and you know for damn sure that we were going to be right back there to do it again next year. All those Patrick Mahomes Chiefs fans can shut the hell up. We've beat you twice. You are 0-2 against Joe Burrow. Let that sink in, and we're coming for you again.
I had a Steelers fan at work today go, well, now what you got to say to me? I said, about what? You didn't go to the Super Bowl. We did. Hush. You have nothing. I mean,
you shouldn't even have been in the playoffs. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that shouldn't. Now, one thing I want to say too is with Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes is getting so much of the blame on losing because he had this meltdown and he's not going to do that again. He had a meltdown because the Bengals defense confused the hell out of him.
It's because the Bengals defense is terrifying, and they went and they got them. So
that's what cracks me up. People are like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes just had a bad game." No, the Bengals defense. You realize they gave up 1 touchdown in the second half of every freaking playoff game. That's it, 1 in the whole second half of every playoff game they played. That's the Bengals defense.
I mean, I can't. I want to win the last time that actually happened. And then on top of that, let's look at that. When was the last time that happened? And then that team did not win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly.
I'll say this. The Bengals were the better team on Sunday. They were the better team. Again, all the macro stuff that had to happen for the Cincinnati to win happened. Happened. Matthew Stafford made mistakes. through picks. We turned those picks into points, and then we freaking
Actually, we
stalled.
didn't. We never turned the picks into points. That's what the issue.
No,
is.
no, we took one and turned it into
Was the
three.
first?
We
Oh, the
took
first one,
second-
the Jesse Bates one, was that what it?
No, not the Jesse Bates one. The one that was at midfield.
Oh, was that Von Bell?
I don't know who.
I can't remember.
Okay.
Anyway, okay.
Anyway.
I got it in my head. I know what you're talking about. All right, Matt
At any
here
rate.
says, I agree with you. He said the front office has nowhere to hide. Everyone knows what needs to be done. And to me, it sucked watching Joe Burrow get demolished like he did. But it is so blatantly obvious what in the hell we have to do that if the Bengals don't do that, the fans are going to erupt. You know, so that's where I'm like, I'm very confident the Bengals. And people are like, well, the Bengals don't spend money. Bull crap. They spent money the last 2 years. I don't think they're going to stop now when they're on the verge of something huge. I mean, this is, and I'm not kidding. This is huge. I mean, yes, we are in the AFC, which is really tough. We got all the best quarterbacks in the AFC, but we got Jackpot Joey. I mean, I'm telling you, I think he's better than all of them. He is a second-year player.
Yep.
Yes, I know Patrick Mahomes in his third year or whatever took him to the Super Bowl, but what's he done since then? And and it's actually Joe Burrow's first full season. Full season he played. Took him to the Super Bowl.
Yep. Took the Super Bowl. So I mean, no, I'm just saying it's never exactly quite happened like obviously Joe Burrow, where you have an entire offseason where it's COVID, and then your next one you're rehabbing, and then just like that, you're in the Super Bowl. So I understand that. I do think a lot of things do need to be changed. I mean, again, like we said, getting to the Super Bowl is hard. Our championship window, I think a lot of this was realized on Sunday after we lost. Our championship window is probably 3 years. That's going to be our prime championship window. This is it. So here's our first run. We're going to have to take our best punch next year. That's going to have to be our best punch. This is going to be our best chance. This is going to be the best team that we've ever had. Personally, I think so. It has to be. It has to be.
You mean this next year?
This next year is going to have to be one of the best teams in Bengals history, probably the best team in Bengals history. You just got to have to find a way. And then I think it does raise up the point. I think they still have to bring in somebody else to call plays. I do.
Yeah, but who?
I don't know.
Who?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know the exact
answer.
Listen, I know, but I don't know exactly what's got to happen. But I mean, maybe it's not Brian Callahan. Maybe it is Brian Callahan. But Jeff, you can't look at me right now and tell me that play calling did not cost us games this year.
I didn't say that.
I know. So it is still a problem.
My point is,
and it cost us in the biggest game of them all. I don't know.
Okay, this is sorry, but this is just like when we used to have Andy Dalton. We need a better quarterback. Okay, who? Okay, we have Zach Taylor. He's the head coach. He's going to call the plays. Maybe Brian Callahan does. That's the only other option.
Yeah,
but Brian Callahan's never called him. I'd take the guy who's called him for the last 3 years, no matter what he's done. Sorry, I mean, because in the situation you're in.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing. He could still have a hand in every single scheme. He can still be a part of it. He could still eventually take that.
It'll be the same thing it is now then.
If he feels the need. No, it's not. If he feels
Brian Callahan has
no, it's not because
every single thing that's Zach does now.
No, he doesn't because you and I have talked about this. You and I have talked about this, that we've said that our offensive scheme is one of our better parts of our offense, is the scheme is good. But the fact is that we have a problem with calling plays in the moment, i.e. handing the ball to freaking Samaje Perine on 2nd and 1 with 40 seconds left in the Super Bowl. There's your problem.
Okay,
and so
Zach Taylor have a guy who's never called him.
I understand that, but that's still a problem. So something needs to happen.
What?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
you can give it to Brian Callahan. You can give it to Brian. You can give your play.
You want to give it to Brian Callahan, who's never called plays?
Yes, give him a chance. Zach Taylor can still take that back. He can still take that back.
That's fine. That's your only option.
Something needs to happen.
That's not my only option. That's what I'm trying to say.
It is not my only option. If there's if there's an offensive coordinator or a quarterback's coach, or there's another assistant that you feel can be elevated from around the league,
you want to take
you can bring him in.
Coach and have him call the plays ahead of the offensive coordinator and ahead
We
of the
took
head
a
coach.
quarterback. Hey, we took a quarterback coach and
But
turned him into
you're
a head
gonna keep
coach.
Brian Callahan as the
Jeff.
OC, but you're gonna have the quarterback coach call plays.
I didn't say we keep Brian Callahan as an OC.
Well, Brian Callahan's not going anywhere. He's just the offensive coordinator of a team that went to the Super Bowl.
You can fire him.
They're not gonna fire him.
You can demote him. I'm sorry.
They're not gonna demote him.
Jeff,
They're not.
The definition of insanity is continually doing something that's not working.
But Josh, they're not.
The definition
it did work. That's the thing, Josh. It did work. They went to the Super Bowl. It did work.
Not because of their offense. There's no. You can't look at me dead in the face and say the offense was the prime reason why the Bengals are.
No, of course that was the defense.
It is 150% their defense. They got carried by their defense a lot.
If you get the offensive line fixed, it changes a lot of stuff. It changes everything.
No, yes, it does change everything. However, again, Zach Taylor has been playing with this offensive line this entire year. He should have known this is how you scheme around him, and we've been able to make it work in games. And then he doesn't do it in the Super Bowl. And then he doesn't do it at Tennessee. And he's got to rely on Lou Anarumo to get him through. And I'll tell you this, Jeff.
And that's how they made it to
the Raiders were one touchdown away from sending our game into overtime.
Right.
Because the offense was not there.
And because the defense made a chance at the end of the game again to make a play.
You can't keep doing that. You can't keep expecting
But that's how they got there, Josh.
That's how they got there this year. But you can't keep doing that year after year. That's not how that works. Because we just got done talking about how hard it is to make it to the Super Bowl.
I know, Josh. Relax. Take a breath.
You're telling me? Oh, shut up. You're telling me to relax. You're right there.
Your reason is your only option is to give it to Brian Callahan. That's the only option you have. That's it. They're not going to.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. They're not going to fire Brian Callahan. Okay, you can fire Brian Callahan. They're not going to, Josh.
I'm not saying fire Brian Callahan. I'm still not saying that. But Jeff, you can't tell me that the play calling wasn't a problem and that it needs to get fixed. And maybe
it needs to get fixed.
And maybe that is because Zach Taylor should not be the play caller.
Okay, then
maybe that's why.
Okay, then who calls it?
Brian Callahan.
Okay, then I'd rather back to the same point again. If you rather,
I'd rather give it
to him who's never called it, and to a guy who's called the last 3 years and got them to the Super Bowl.
Zach Taylor was 6-25-1 before this year started. Again, we had 15 sacks. You want to know why our defense
the offensive line? It fixes it. We're gonna have to keep saying the argument.
No, we're not, because you could still have an offensive line that's good and still suck at play calling and have it cost you. Watch Mike McCarthy. You want to talk about an awful head coach that has been ridden by a great offensive line that is now getting exposed?
Okay.
Dallas. That is number one team that has happened.
Had a terrible offensive line and got him to the Super Bowl.
But I understand that, but it's the defense that had that. The reason was the defense.
But again, like I was saying before in this broadcast, when the offensive line was playing very well together, let's see here, Joe Burrow threw 525 against the Chiefs.
No shit.
Jamar Chase had more yardage than Patrick Mahomes did. So there were times when the offensive line holds up, this offense balls out.
Yeah,
you fix the offensive line, you fix a lot of stuff.
I am not questioning that the fact that fixing the offensive line is good. I am saying that there is still a problem with play calling.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm disagreeing with the person you want to give it to.
And I'm saying that maybe there is a problem and maybe it needs to get moved over.
Fine. All right, let's go to Crypt Keeper.
Christ. That was good. That was good. I like that. I need some water after that. That was good. I like that.
He wants to know how Dimebag Jeremy Dean is doing. Jeremy is back home. I just talked to him right before the broadcast. He's back home. He's recovering. He's got 6 weeks or more of recovery to do. Just saying, look at that right there. Right.
Oh, great. Yeah.
6 weeks of recovery or more to do. And he will be back on the show. One, he's better, but keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And he will hopefully get through this. Preston likes your passion.
Oh, I mean, this is what we do. It's our favorite thing. We love it.
Look, you got my face even redder.
I know, dude. Oh my God. I was sweat. My gut started hurting like right there. AFC Championship rally tomorrow at 5. Is that a Bengals gym thing? I know he was peeping at something.
That's Crown. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming because
I'll go to
I
Bengals
mean, I
gym.
don't know. I don't know if that's actually like a surprise because we all knew something was going to happen Wednesday. So
Yeah. Yeah, right. Something was gonna have to happen. I mean, god damn it, dude. The amount of the party that would have ensued
oh, dude,
and the content that would have been made and the insanity that would have happened over the entire city of Cincinnati would have been electric. Like
oh yeah,
that's what kills me the most is how amazing of a party it would be for the city of Cincinnati.
it would have been awesome. I would still be partying.
There is an AFC Champions rally. Listen, I know what they're trying to do. I'm not.
That's what they did in '88. Same thing they did. They had it down at Fountain Square. That's which I mean. That's why I'm like, I don't, because I was talking to my wife. She's like, "Do you think they're gonna have so if we lose?" I said, "Yeah, we had it in '88. Why wouldn't they have it now?"
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And it's Bengals Jim, and he does amazing stuff, and it'll be for a great charity, and then it'll be great for everybody. But I mean, I don't know. I personally, I just hate like losing and still being like, oh yeah, we're still great.
Yeah, but
No, I'm
everybody
still
does that. I
pissed.
mean,
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's not that. Yeah, we're great. We're celebrating.
Yeah,
You're celebrating the season. Like that's what we're
yeah,
talking about here. I
yeah.
want everybody to.
You're right.
Yes, it
You're
ended
right.
and we
You're
lost.
right.
It sucks, but I don't want everybody to forget about this great season we had. We had the best season we've had in 30 years or 40
Amazing.
years.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's the whole thing, and it's to keep the momentum going for next year. And I know Jerry Bear, she tweeted out that she bought season tickets. Her husband bought season tickets.
Oh, good for them. All right.
They're in Florida, so I guess they're gonna do what Houday Baby does and fly back and forth every weekend.
It's a hell of a schedule right there,
dude.
man.
I can't.
Yeah,
I'm going.
I'll tell you what.
Good.
Yeah, go on. I'll tell you what. I'll stop being a party pooper. You're right. I mean, this was a hell of a season, and I think that's where a lot of the emotion goes. What we started kind of the show with. Again, we wrap it up so nicely. We bring it all the way back.
We can be depressed on your show. We're gonna go do your show at 6:45.
Well, that show's a little bit more depressing. But anyway, I mean, again, just you're so just like wow. I mean, this just doesn't happen. I mean, we are the first city to have the college football playoff and a Super Bowl team. We'll probably be the only city to ever have that. That has got to be cherished. It really does. And then I mean, again, just how they won and who they were and who this team was and how this fan base grouped to this team and introduce their love for the franchise and love for the team and love for the city. Like it's been amazing to see.
One thing we have to remember, we went to Tennessee and we went to Kansas City and won, and that's to me gives me hope.
Huge.
Right there.
Yep.
You go to Tennessee and you go to Kansas City and you win, no matter how you won. You freaking won. That gives me hope. Now look at the brick top here before we get out of here. I said want to hear from Taylor. Plans for the off season. When do you think he will speak on that?
Soon.
Soon.
Zach Taylor's. He's a very he's one of the things I really like about Zach Taylor is he's a very right back to work type of guy. Yes. He really is. He'll be right back to work. I mean, there are stories of Zach Taylor's work ethic and how amazing it is and how long he does actually spend at the facility. And so that is one thing I do really, really love about Zach Taylor is his work ethic. And he's not going to stop.
And that's what Joe Burrow is too.
He won't stop he won't stop.
And that's the way Joe Burrow is too. So he's put your head down. Let's go to work. All right, Josh, let's get the hell out of here so we get on your show. Tell everybody about your podcast and your stripe hype and all that stuff.
Yep, we're gonna jump over right now at 6:45. Me and Jeff are gonna go live just to run this back. We probably won't go as long as we did here because both of him and I love the University of Cincinnati Bearcats basketball team, and we want to get out quick and go watch the game. And I might even not do it because no, we'll still
do it. Anyway, we can do a half hour. We're good. We'll do
a half hour. So anyway,
as long as you stop talking here.
Right. Okay. All right. We'll be the Back Row Cincinnati Bengals show. And then you can find it anywhere. You can find podcasts, and then you can find my Twitter at Back Row Bengals, and then you can find all of my blogs on fansided.com over on the Bengals side. So I will see you all over there tonight.
There you go. About 6:45 we'll get started. Houday. All right, Rowdy Everlap, you got another one. $5 super chat. As a second-round pick, T. Higgins signed a 3-year contract. If the Bengals extend him early, the Bengals can design a much more cap-friendly deal. Exactly. Like, there's so many options. There's so many options. Like I said, I'm trying to make it not so simple. And now you fix the offensive line. It doesn't exactly mean we're headed for the Super Bowl for sure. I think you got to stay healthy. Things got to break your way. You got to win the right games. I think they can do it. We'll find out. I can't wait till next year. I don't know about you guys. I'm fired up. Let's go do this for another half hour over on Josh's podcast, Back Row Bengals. Go check it out. We'll be on there on his YouTube channel. So let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of them. We got Who Dey Nation, Who Dey Legion, Cincinnati Reds, rounding third, heading for home. Bearcat Ruckus, Bearcat Country, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and they follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trunapole. TikTok is at Iceman90. I will be pulling off the sound later on tonight, so if you missed any of it, you missed the freaking epic debate me and Josh had, or hot takes, or whatever you want to call it. Check it out. It's on BeatPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Give a 5-star review. Leave a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. I would greatly appreciate it. YouTubers, my originals, we're still at 1,498 subscribers. I'm so close to 1,500. That would be awesome. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors to subscribe to Sports with Strawberry Ice. I would greatly appreciate it. And other than that, like I said, keep Jeremy D, my boy Jeremy D, in your thoughts and prayers. He's getting better. He's got a long road, long recovery. He will be back on the show, so I'm hoping a couple weeks he'll be back on, at least for a little while. And we can have some, we can run it back like we used to. And as my boy Jeremy D likes to say, remember one thing and one thing only, and that is you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. Who Dey? We will be back. We will be great again. Go watch the Bearcats tonight. Hopefully they'll beat Memphis. And that's your sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. In the night, stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black, and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, Who Dey, we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle, we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who Dey, when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every game day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin' Who Dey, time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati, jungle fitted. Who Dey in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that Who Dey muscle on them. Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle, we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who Dey, when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move dancing on? Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock them, yeah, we got them, yeah, we fought them. Like that black and orange upon them. Bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast and know them. Who Dey rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, Who Dey, we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and